Today we're going to start our discussion about forces. Okay, we're going to start our discussion about forces. You may want to take this up here. You may want to be more there. Or someone over here, because I'm going to be standing in the front. Well, we can stay together if you want, but it might be easier. Well, don't sit there, because that camera's in the way. Sit next to bro. Okay. Are you ready? So, have you heard this word force before in a science context?
Yes.
Have you heard this word force before?
Yes.
All right, here's what I want you to do. I have a little piece of paper in front of you. I want you to write down like what you think your definition of force is in the science context. Okay? All right? You all had science in 7th and 8th grade, and you probably have seen or heard this word before. So write down force on your paper right now, and then write down what you think your definition is for it. All right? I want to see everybody write something down so that we can compare them. Do that now. Force. What is force? What is a force? No. That is not a definition. Not an example. Okay? I want you to write down a definition. Okay? Not an example or a descriptor, a definition. A force is an object. Something that is being, something that acts on an object. What do you mean something? What do you mean something?
I can't say force.
Yes, you're defining.
I
You're
know.
defining. You're defining. What is this? Ooh,
You didn't look at mine.
Big, that is not anything. All right, so what do you think? I feel like we're falling apart here. I feel like you're sick and you're sick.
I'm sick.
I feel good.
I'm all sick.
My voice, I thought my voice was gonna get better. It did not. That's not good.
I can say this one's a problem.
All right. So when we talk about a force is something you've heard of before, true? All right. So if I hold this book in my hand thusly, are there any forces on the book?
No.
Okay? We may or may not know what a force is yet, but just what is your gut on this one? All right?
Yes.
You think there's some forces on the book?
Yes.
Maybe?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes?
One.
So you think there's at least 1?
Yeah.
Maybe 2?
Yeah.
Maybe 4?
No.
2.
5?
No.
6?
No. Sure.
It's hard to say, right? We don't even know what a force is yet. But that's all right. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to start with this as an idea. Okay? I'm going to start with this as an idea. Okay? All right, so I'm holding the book. What are the forces on the book?
Force of gravity.
All right? So check with your neighbor, okay? And I want you to list all the forces you think are on the book. Do that now, all right? List them now. Tell me what you think. What are all the forces on the book? really long arm in the picture.
It's more like a leg, because it's really low.
Elbows just.
Are you critiquing?
It's not that long, it's just the elbow's too far forward.
Is that what it is?
Yeah,
So we need the elbow back here a little bit?
yeah.
All right, you got something? All right, shout them out, give them to me.
Gravity.
Gravity. Inertia.
Your hand.
Hand. What else? What's that? More, please.
I mean, if your palms are kind of sweaty, would that have something like
Friction.
like a water?
My palms are kind of sweaty.
Needs some friction effect.
Well, my palms aren't sweaty, they're nice and dry. Actually, probably too dry.
Yeah, you gotta get some hand motion.
What else?
Oh my gosh.
There's gotta be more.
Why?
Uh-oh. There's more ideas out there.
I only voted for one.
What's that?
Oh, no.
You said something.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, I said the mass.
Absolutely. That's a great idea. Could be the mass. What about the weight? What about the weight? Could that be a force?
Yeah.
I don't know. Might be.
The weight is a force, yeah, you know, like how to make it, like flip around.
I know. Like, so his point is a good one. He says, we don't even know what a force is yet. How can we decide what forces are on the book if we don't even know what a force is yet? I think that seems really reasonable. So, did you guys write down some definitions of forces? Okay? What are some definitions of forces? Ethan, what did you write down?
Something that causes something else to move. A
Something-
push or a pull.
Something that causes something else to move. I like that. Is that true?
I think so.
I mean, if I'm holding this book, okay? If I'm holding this book like this, am I causing it to move?
You're stopping it from moving.
Yeah, just stop it.
Okay. So maybe part of your definition sounds okay. I don't know. Isis, what did you write down?
Weight and pressure being applied to an object.
Weight and pressure? Those sound like examples. I like both of those though. Those sound really good. Yeah, go ahead.
The strength or like the like amount that something is pushed or stopped.
Okay. Strength or amount that something is pushed or stopped. That sounds really interesting to me. Okay. Mr. Jarecki, what did you have?
I said something that affects an object physically.
A physical effect on something that affects an object physically. Okay. I like that. Bryce, what do you have? What do you have for force?
The object can it push back.
Oh, I like that. Said an object that's pushing back. Well, in general, and I saw this on a lot of boards, or on a lot of papers, in general, when we talk about forces, okay? So, don't write this down yet, we're going to talk about it, and then you can write it down. All right, so in our force concept, we're always going to refer to a force as an interaction that's between two physical objects that is either a push or a pull. Okay? It's an interaction between two physical objects that's either a push or a pull. Is that all right? I mean, you even said push or pull, right? Right? So it may cause something to move, it may not. It may stop something from moving, it may not, but in general, it's always going to be an interaction between two physical objects. Okay? It's always going to be an interaction between two physical objects. So, all right, so the first rule of forces states that when talking about forces, you must name the physical object that is doing the pushing or the pulling. Forces are only exerted by physical objects. Okay? No magic forces. Okay? You must name the physical object doing the pushing or the pulling. Does that sound okay? Is that cool with you guys? So what we're going to do now is we're going to look at our forces on the book and see if any of these, if we can get rid of any of these based upon the first rule of forces. Does that sound okay? Let's start from the bottom. This term weight. Is weight a physical object?
No.
Okay? Like if you go into the weight room, right, if you go to the gym, right, there are big metal plates, we call them weights. But that's not what you're talking about here, right? Is weight a physical object? No, it's a concept. So we're going to get rid of this one. What about mass? Is mass a physical object? No, it is not. Mass is an idea also. Is friction a physical object? Here's how you know if it's a physical object or not. If you can go and buy one at the store, or I can hit you with it, then you know it's a physical object. Can you go to the store and buy a friction? No, so it's not a physical object. Is a hand a physical object? Yes! You can hit someone with it, and you could go to a store and buy one. That's a weird store, but you can visualize a store where you could buy a hand, right? The black market, the dark web, right? There's a hand store in the dark web. Is inertia a physical object? No, I don't even know what that is. Is gravity a physical object? No. Mrs. Bennett didn't call and be like, hey, I want you to stop at the store and pick up a gravity on the way home. Does that make any sense? What's that? Does that make any sense? So, but this leaves us with a problem because gravity is not a physical object. And so, if we look over here at the book, according to our list, how many things are pulling and pushing on the book? Just one, but I bet there's more than one. Right? I bet there's more than one. So, here's my book. I'm going to redraw my book over here. What kind of graphical construct are we going to use to represent forces? What do you want to use to represent forces? Why do you want to use arrows? That's correct, by the way. Why do you want to use arrows? There are two reasons we should use arrows. What are they? Yeah, so why are we using arrows to represent the push and pull? Go ahead.
Because you can show direction of the force.
Yeah, you can angle them. If I want it to be down, I can point it down. If I want it to be up, I can point it up. If I want it to be diagonal, I can point it diagonal. That's one reason. What's the second reason we want to use arrows?
Shows the amount.
Absolutely. How do you represent a larger force? Make a longer arrow. Totally, right? Can we use arrows? Okay. So, here's my book. What do you think the hand is doing? Is it pushing it up?
Yes.
All right, the hand is where? Is the hand underneath it?
Yes.
All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to draw an arrow from the middle of the book here. I'm going to put a dot in the book. and we're gonna say the hand. Now, here's how the notation works. Since we're talking about the book, we write an F for force. This is the force of the hand on the book.
Your handwriting just got like perfect right there.
It went from this garbage to shockingly neat.
Yeah.
Is that cool? Force of the hand on the book. There has to be something else, doesn't there? Because if this were true, what would be the book would be like zooming up, yeah? Is there something else? Check with your neighbor, see if your neighbor knows. There's got to be something else. What is it? Check with your neighbor now, see if your neighbor knows. That's the acceleration. The book isn't accelerating, the book is just here,
Oh,
right?
gravity.